Let me tell you about the outdoor project I built, not just once, but twice, right in my own backyard. This wasn't just a simple redo. It was a full-on experiment to see what really works when it comes to building something that can survive the elements. I used the exact same design, in the exact same spot in the yard, but I built each one using a totally different method. It was the ultimate side-by-side test. My goal? To finally find out if the most popular advice you see online actually holds up in the real world, or if it just looks good on YouTube and Instagram. There's a lot of expert advice out there, but does it really stand up to rain, sun, and time? On day one, both projects looked absolutely perfect. The wood was fresh, the joints were tight and smooth, and the finish looked flawless. You'd be proud to show either one off to your neighbors. If you saw them side by side, you'd never guess there was any difference at all. They looked like twins. But then the weather rolled in. After the very first rainstorm, the cracks started to show. And I mean that literally. The one I built using the most popular online method, it soaked up water like a sponge, almost as if it was begging for trouble. The wood darkened, the joints stayed damp for days, and it just never seemed to dry out completely. Meanwhile, the other build, water just beat it up and rolled right off, like it was wearing a raincoat. A few weeks later, the sun came out in full force. That's when things really started to split apart, literally and figuratively. On the YouTube method build, I started seeing warping, tiny cracks, and rough patches popping up way faster than I expected. It was honestly kind of shocking. The other one, still looking solid, barely any change at all. It was holding up like a champ. And here's the thing. This is the point where most people stop paying attention. They walk away, thinking the job's done. They see a few little problems and shrug it off, thinking, that's just what happens outside. No big deal, right? But trust me, those small issues outdoors always turn into big headaches if you ignore them. The weather never takes a break. After just a month, the difference between the two was night and day. One looked almost new, the other looked years old. One project held up beautifully while the other had big gaps, peeling finish, and obvious damage. And here's the kicker, the one that failed? It followed the advice you'll hear everywhere online, from forums to DIY videos. Advice that sounds right, but just doesn't last when real weather hits. It's easy to get fooled by a good-looking thumbnail. The fix wasn't about spending more money or buying fancy, expensive tools. You don't need a pro workshop to get this right. It was all about smarter prep, using the right protective finishes, and making sure moisture could escape instead of getting trapped inside the wood. So if you're planning an outdoor woodworking project, remember, the little details matter way more than you think. Don't skip the boring steps. One decision at the very start can decide if your project lasts for years, or falls apart after just a month in the weather. If this helped you out, hit like, drop a comment with your guess on which method actually won, and subscribe if you want the real truth about which DIY tips actually work, and which ones just look good on camera.